If you're just tuning in, our topic on Straight Talk today still is post-amnesty. And please, for this program, we do not accommodate phone calls. Text messages only. If you want to make inquiries or ask questions, send your text messages to 003-879-4820. The number is scrolling on the screen. 003-879-4820. And text messages only, please. When we got to the point of, since it couldn't be avoided, because you see, if you say, when God put oil, let me take off from there as a follow-up. When God put oil in the Niger Delta, was it for the purpose of evil? Because if the oil was appropriately managed, would we have gotten to where we find ourselves today?
Well, the truth about God's plan, he said his thoughts are not our thoughts. Now, whatever mistakes, he said, think not of those things, but you think of how you move ahead. This thing has happened. We are now trying to see the will of God in this thing that has happened. If you have managed it well, let me tell you, when they talk about resource control, I stood up and said, look, this thing, resource control, is not correct. If you give the Niger Delta people their resource to control it, will destroy us. Who will not want to take? So until we grow up to a stage where we understand what democracy means, where we understand that life should be free, where we understand that your next door neighbor should be your closest friend, we will not get there. So there are certain things that you will get, and you must go through some certain levels to be able to condole those things and move on. So God did not give us oil as a cause. But I am putting it that way because I have discovered that when Bible says where sin abides, the grace of God abides even more. This thing that has happened to us was that there is a grace of God that we did not recognize. There was a oil. There was a blessing. If our fathers have stood for certain things, we won't be suffering what we're suffering now. If I have closed my mouth now, my children will get up back tomorrow and start fighting these things. So I have to talk. I have 4 beautiful kids that I don't want anybody tomorrow to come and kidnap. I don't want them to begin to suffer from where I have stopped. So I say, no, somebody must pay a sacrifice, go into this thing and address it. So I see God in this thing. If it is not God, I would not have been doing it. So I see God in this thing to say, look, God, where do you take the glory from? We have missed this thing from the from the line, along the line and whatever. We have decided to take darkness rather than light. Because Bible says we prefer darkness rather than light. So how do we do it? Do we allow this thing to go to the next generation that don't even understand where we're coming from? I'm a Port Harcourt boy. I grew up in Port Harcourt. I know how we live in Port Harcourt freely. You know, then suddenly people who just carry guns and every one of us is running.
Well,
so
do you think the challenge has been solved?
Now there is danger to this. There is danger to it. The federal government is using our proposal. We demanded for amnesty. Yar'Adua did not give us that. They don't even understand why they have given amnesty. But because we knew where this problem started from, we know some certain people we have to talk to let this thing go down. Now, talking about solved, the amnesty is come and passed. We told the federal government that for us to get a successful amnesty, they should give us 6 months. From the start, our proposal. It was in 1 sheet of paper. This was the proposal we did to start the campaign for amnesty. That there must be a campaign to the people. We've been starting this thing for over years. Then all we needed from Nigeria was to give us amnesty. This is the amnesty that has come now.
I think the camera will need to pick this.
Yes.
So that,
so this is the amnesty we're talking about now. That you must give amnesty to the militants. Then they will surrender their guns. We propose NDDC, government, whoever will collect the guns. So this is the program the federal government used. There was no money involved in this program. There was no kobo involved. We're talking about talking to people's hearts, letting them understand the danger of carrying guns, the benefit of knowing that this is your brother. So you don't stop and asking God, am I my brother's keeper? So we started preaching and talking to the heart of people to take this. And we told the federal government, give us 6 months. So that within 6 months, we will have programs for campaigns. Then people start bringing out their guns. They may not bring it all out, but because of the sincerity of those that will now bring out, we'll move to the next stage, within which the army will start living. We had this kind of program in this 1 sheet we showed to them. They decided to take the program and do it their own way. They now announced 50 billion or whatever. They did not involve us, attract the people that there is money to give to them. I want to tell you there was no money on the ground to give to them. The government just announced it as an attraction because they could not go to these people one in one like we're going to them. We go to them not with anything, just to let them understand the usefulness of non-violence, the usefulness of understanding that we don't need to ask God, am I my brother's keeper? That's why we went to them. So when government saw they cannot go to them, they attracted them with money, with other rehabilitation programs and so on. So we are saying, look, the best way forward is not just to take the physical gun away from the people, but to spiritually convert them to be sorry from their heart what they have done. That is where the healing is. But now there is a danger. If the government fails the physical promises they've done to all these people, and somebody along the line, not just only failing the physical promises, as they have refused to involve the people of the Niger Delta. This amnesty does not really involve the people of the Niger Delta. If anybody gets up tomorrow now and give any reason why these things are happening anywhere, and somebody else understands that the government were not sincere to you, and they protect you because you're carrying a gun, just like it has happened before, say, pass, my brother, no mind government. We will go into a guerrilla warfare. This solution we have now, if it is not handled properly, we will go into a guerrilla warfare. That it means that the prophecy they have been saying about killing 20 million Nigerians to save 100 million Nigerians is not a big sacrifice. That is what might happen. But I pray that because the grace of God, and he said because of the elect's sake, he will make some days shorten. I pray that God will make